Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone is doing great. Today we're gonna learn all about flowcharts. As you guys know, this is a very beginner friendly course, so people with no prior programming experience also can learn a lot. Now, in this video, we're gonna learn about flowcharts. Why do we use flowcharts in the first place? What are flowcharts? What are the symbols used to represent the flowcharts with a bunch of examples? Also, follow this playlist so that you don't miss out the ordering of the videos because every previous concept is very much important in the future. So without wasting time, let's get started. In the first place, what are flowcharts? Flowcharts helps to visualize our thought process with the help of some shapes and symbols. Now, why flowcharts? The reason we use flowcharts is it helps the programmers to develop the most efficient code because they can clearly see where the data or where the input data is going or is going to end. It helps us in designing and cleaning the code. It helps us to write clean code. So basically, we know what we are doing before we are actually writing the code or actually developing the algorithm. So this is the main purpose of using flowcharts. Now let's touch upon some basics about flowcharts. Flowcharts are usually, as you guys saw, these are some symbols and shapes that represent the code or represent the algorithm or represent our thought process. So what symbols are used in flowcharts? In flowcharts, we use various kind of symbols. The first symbol which we use is, or the most common symbol which we use is start and stop of the flow. So that is represented with the help of an oval. An oval represents start or stop. Then for taking input from the user or giving out input to the user, we use a parallelogram. So this symbol is used for input and output. There's another symbol that is arrow marks. These arrow marks are like connectors. They connect between input and output to other symbols or any other symbol such as input and output to start and stop or for processing or for any decision making. These connectors help us to connect between various symbols. Coming to the next symbol, it is a rectangle. This rectangle is used for processing. Like in case dividing two numbers, so you enter that divide two numbers into this rectangle box. So it helps us to clearly state that after this step, we are going to divide two numbers. There's another important symbol that is rhombus. It is used for decision making. Like for example, like in case we are dividing two numbers A and B, and if B, that is the denominator, is 0, directly return 0. We know anything divided by 0 is infinity. Instead of returning infinity or instead of showing some error, directly return a 0 or directly return -1 so that the user will know that the denominator was 0. So let's get started with an example so that we have more clarity. For example, we take name as input from the user and then display the input to the user as an output. For example, we take name as input from the user and display the name as output. So how do we design the flowchart for this? It's very simple. First, before everything, we have to start the thought process or we have to start the flowchart. So what is the symbol for start? As you rightly guessed, it is the oval as mentioned before. First symbol will be start. So for input and output, what symbol do we use? We use a parallelogram for input and output. Here you can see we have used a parallelogram for input and output. We take the name as input. And here as you can see, I have used a connector which connects between start and input. So this is how the connectors are actually used. Now next, what do? We have the input. Now what do? What does the program actually do? We just display the name as output. So the next step is displaying the name as output. I've displayed the name like good morning and the name given and the input I've displayed good morning and the input given by the user, that is the name. Now once we are done with everything, we have to stop the thought process or we have to stop the flowchart. So which symbol do we use to end the program or end the flowchart? We use this oval symbol because it is used for start and stop. So I hope you guys understood this simple program to take input from the user and display the output. We'll iterate this flowchart with the help of an example. Here my program started. Now I give my name as input, be it any name. Like for example, I give Chad as an input and what do I get as an output? I get good morning, Chad. Now if I give Chad as an input, I get output as good morning Chad. So this will be our output. So I hope you guys understood the simple program. Now let me take you to the next level. You guys can try this out. Take input for two numbers and return which number is greater, or return the greater number. Like for example, you take two numbers, that is A and B. Now return among A and B, which number is greater? Like if B is greater, return B, or if A is greater, return A. You guys can try to draw the flowchart for this. So you guys can pause here and draw the flowchart and then come back to this video. I guess you guys would have tried it. If you got it, it's really good. And if you didn't, no problem. We're gonna learn in detail how does the flowchart work. We start the program as usual. To start any flowchart or start any thinking process, we start with the start symbol. So we start the program, like we take two numbers as input, be it A and B or num1 and num2. Here I consider it as num1 and num2. If num1 is greater than num2, then we print num1 is greater. Else, if num2 is greater than num1, then we print num2 is greater. Once we are done with everything, we stop the flow. I guess this was really easy. For more understanding, let's dry run this flowchart. Dry run in the sense, let's take an example and check if the flowchart actually works. Let's assume the user gave input for num1 as 10 and num2 as 20. Now we have to check if 10 is greater than 20. Now is 10 greater than 20? No. So it comes to the false statement. So is 10 greater than 20? Is it true or false? No. 10 is less than 20, so it is false. That means print num2 is greater. That means 20 is the greater number. Let's see with another example. Let's assume user makes an input of two numbers. The first number is 33 and the second number is 15. So we have to just compare if num1 is greater than num2. If num1 is greater than num2, then we have to print num1, else we have to print num2. In this case, is num1 greater than num2? Num1 is greater than num2. So the flow will go towards the left. That means we have to print 33 is greater. So we print 33 is greater. Then we stop the program. I hope you guys understood this very clearly. In the upcoming lectures, we'll see more complex examples in a very simplified manner. In the upcoming playlist, be it Python or Java, which we're going to create, we're going to see the similar kind of flow, like for example for loops, while loops, if conditions, and all those. Now here this is an if condition. If num1 is greater than num2, if it is true, then do some work, else if it is false, do some work. This here is an if condition. It is the same concept in a programmatic manner, so the concepts will remain same. So as I told you guys, this is a very beginner friendly course, and we drive this course from very basic to advanced level. And also do subscribe the channel and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on any of the videos. After subscribing, also like the video so that you help the YouTube algorithm to function.